So for our next session, that will be focusing on digital manufacturing and supply chain. And Utkarsha from Accelerator in the University of Leicester will be leading the discussion with Professor Darren Williams from Joining 4.0 Innovation Center and Krit Patel from PrintVision. So I'm just handing over to Kash to you to lead the session. So thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. Today, as Omar mentioned, I am a part of STAR Accelerator program, and I work as a mechanical prototype manufacturing engineer, and I have a background in digital manufacturing technology such as 3D printing in industrial applications, working in aerospace, Formula One, space, and other high-end sectors where I saw an implementation of digital manufacturing. And it excited me a lot in terms of the kind of impact it's creating in the current supply chain and its economical as well as social benefits. So for today's topic, it's very simple thing to know. Everybody is using a word digital very easily nowadays, and it can have different meanings in different sectors. So today's theme, we have seen the impact of digital marketing in the last session, and it's really inspiring more and more in manufacturing side to see how marketing leads us into a very successful digital manufacturing implementation as well. So today we have two speakers, and I will introduce them in a bit. But today's topic, what is digital manufacturing? What does it mean? In simple terms, it's just the application or implementation of computer systems to manufacturing services, supply chains, products or processes. It's really simple and sounds simple, but how do we do it? How do an SME or tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 supplier, how can they make most of it, and where do they start? That is why this session is very important, and the eminent speakers we have, they will tell us their stories and their guidance on how do we achieve it. But understanding how digital manufacturing links systems, it can be IT systems, physical systems, processes across all the production areas as an integrated approach is very interesting to see, because it does have impact on servicing the varieties of customers without even seeing each other. So and there's another word it can be used for that part of a model is distributed manufacturing technology. So the production process or the customer facing traditional way of dealing is not there anymore. You can, in pandemic, it was a great example how customers still managed to get what they wanted in B2C model and B2B model, because we were not allowed to go and meet people, and the shop floors were still running with a minimal capacity, and that gave us a very, very good insight into implementation of digital manufacturing towards distributed manufacturing systems in different sectors, not just aerospace, because aerospace works like that for a long time, but other industries are getting most of that benefit now. So the digital manufacturing can be broken into three different areas. So first of all, the product life cycle itself, then the factory itself, we call it a smart factory nowadays, and the word, another keyword used recently very often is digital twin. And what does it mean? So it's basically analog version of your shop floor and digital version of your shop floor. So the range of sensors on the shop floor are connected to your IT systems, so that you can literally have a dashboard view of your shop floor or your supply chain to see what's happening. Where is the part you ordered, where exactly it is sitting in my supply chain or value chain. And the third part of the main area is again value chain management. How do you place an order with multiple suppliers and achieve what you want to achieve? And that's what the OEMs want, really, without interacting with each individual supplier. So understanding this, I'm sure our speakers will take through this journey in their experience. But I just want to start the session with the note for the future. So what is the future of digital manufacturing? Why someone needs to implement it? Because it is going to grow, and it is going to give so much flexibility in terms of increased automation and automizing production process. and also its connection to Industry 4.0. So using our IT infrastructure or cloud-based services or computer systems to take it to the next level, and also to streamline the process. So having a very automated workflow going from an inquiry to receiving a final part, there are a lot of things involved. And how do we automate that? And if you do that, you're going to get a lot of value out of it as a revenue. And we'll see that today through Krit's example, he has achieved very good success in pandemic period. And last thing, people want to know numbers. What are those numbers? We're talking about growth, the economic growth, and recently there was a report published by Allied Market Research, and based on their figures and their global opportunity analysis, the digital marketing market size is valued at $0.27 trillion like last year in 2020, and is projected to grow to 1.3 trillion by 2030. And the actual growth, the annual growth in this sector has seen from 16 to 17% going on from 2021 to 2030. So you can see, if anybody wants to jump in this journey, it's right time now. And we have seen the example of this during pandemic, how people have achieved the digital options like manufacturing, marketing, and AI-based implementation. So on this note, I would like to introduce our first speaker, Professor Darren Williams. He is a team leader working at the Welding Institute. It's a very prime institute in the UK, involved in research and development. So Darren is a Professor Director of adjoining 4.0 Innovation Center at Lancaster University, as well as he has a role to play in TWI in welding system integration. He's a chartered engineer and a fellow of Institution of Engineering and Technology, and he's leading the vision for joining 4.0 Innovation Center at Lancaster University. Also, his group has a vast experience in artificial intelligence and machine learning. Darren used to work before at Rolls-Royce, a wax process as a wax process owner, as a principal manufacturing engineer at Advanced Blade Casting Facility in the UK. So I would like to open the floor for Darren and let him take his journey or his experience and his advice for our supply chain for Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, our SMEs on how to implement digital manufacturing, or what is that we should be looking forward and knowing how these things will be taking forward in terms of implementation to the wider audience. So welcome, Darren, and I would like to give the floor to you.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Utkarsha. Thank you for that informative overview, and thank you to you and Omar for inviting me to present today. So as introduced, my name is Darren Williams. I will take a look at digital manufacturing at TWI and the adjoining 4.0 Innovation Center with a slight focus on supply chain manufacturing. Okay, so as an agenda, I'll provide a brief bio and introduction just for all of you to get to know me. Then I'll have an overview, a look at TWI and J4IC, a bit of introduction to each organization, the digital teams and projects that we're looking at. And then there's a few slides to focus on the digital supply chain adoption curve project, which is an Innovate UK project. Okay, so by way of introduction, I have currently two roles. The first one of those is that I am the director of the Joining 4.0 Innovation Center, which is situated at Lancaster University. So my role there is to develop a group to develop and implement Industry 4 techniques and solutions, as we'll see later in the slide. And also simultaneously, I work for TWI as the welding systems team manager. And there again, very similar to my Lancaster role, I'm developing a team focused on integrating digital solutions. So as Utkarsha mentioned, I've had previous experience at Rolls-Royce. I've done a doctorate as well with Rolls-Royce, and the doctorate was on a similar theme today's talk. It was on developing a digital twin for a linear friction welding system, which ran in parallel to help detect for faults and predict for faults as well. Okay, so moving on, TWI, the Welding Institute, they're a research and technology organization, and TWI's mission is to deliver world-class services and also support on impartial advice with regards to any sorts of joining materials or technologies. We're an industrial membership-based organization, and all the income that we receive is reinvested back into the business to help benefit our members. So it's non-for-profit. We've got around 900 staff. We do around 80 million worth of R&D. A lot of that is invested back into core internal R&D programs. We've got members based worldwide, nearly 2,000 of those, and we, TWI, are based across the UK. I'm based in the Sheffield facility, which looks at additive manufacturing and friction stir welding. We've got a facility in Wales, Port Talbot, which focuses on NDT. Cambridge is our main headquarters, which looks at a whole raft of different welding technologies. Middlesbrough and Aberdeen look at training and numerical modelling. So a brief look at the core digital team at TWI. We focus across three main aspects, which is design, support and validation for digital. I'm not going to read through all those words on the screen, but I'll a brief insight. So for example, in design, we'd look at support and control of IoT sensors. Support, we'd look at the application and understanding of Industry 4. And for validation, we'd look at, for example, SATs and FATs testing. So site acceptance testing, factory acceptance testing for digital requirements. Moving on to the Joining 4.0 Innovation Centre. So the J4IC, that is a strategic partnership between Lancaster and TWI, established April 2017, and the aim of the centre is to develop a comprehensive research capability focused on the digitisation of any sorts of joining and materials technologies. We've got a number of objectives, as you can see on the screen. The first one of those being for us to be world leading in R&D for digital. The second one of those is to establish a collaborative environment between the university and the research technology organisation. The third one is to establish an excellent track record. And the fourth one is to secure a portfolio of projects from various funding bodies. Just to highlight a little more detail how J4IC and TWI link together. So this 4-box quadrant is from the Institute of Manufacturing, and all I've done is map on the J4IC onto that. So traditionally, TWI would focus in the upper left quadrant in the advanced materials and manufacturing section. So as I mentioned, we look at joining, additive manufacturing, advanced materials. My digital team, TWI, moves us into the right box because we focus more on advanced manufacturing systems, bridging the digital elements into the traditional methods. And J4IC underpins both of those technologies by looking at innovative digital techniques and technologies, so software platforms and new connectivities. And sorry, somebody has their mic not muted, so if everybody can just ensure that their mic's muted, please, because it's a little distracting. Thank you. So moving on, a look at the team at J4IC. So the team, or the group, if you want to call it, because we're slightly bigger now. We've got myself as director and head of the group. We have 4 research associates working on various projects, and we have 6 PhDs focused on various different innovative research topics. A look at the current projects that we're working on. So currently we have 5 projects. So I guess for the audience, this is you may have in the past heard of a lot of how should I say it, digital words within Industry 4.0 and machine learning and artificial intelligence, and you may not have really seen much application. So what I can offer throughout these next few slides is a snapshot of how we've applied these digital technologies. Bearing in mind, I'll briefly run over these, so if you do want any further information at the end, I'll leave my contact details and feel free to get in touch with me for more information. So the first one, FSW Bot. This is the friction stir welding crawler for internal repair and refurbishment of pipelines. So this is an Innovate UK project with the partners identified at the bottom. So we've got Forth Engineering, TWI, Innovatech, J4IC and London South Bank as partners. This project, what we have done, we've created a unit which can traverse in pipelines. So this, the unit which you see fits in a pipeline and it can traverse that pipeline. It searches for any defects within that pipeline. When it finds a defect, it repairs it via a friction stir welding process. So J4IC's role was to look at the defect classification, find the defect, and then control the process, which is repairing that defect. The next project which we want to look at is called 5GEM, or 5G enabled manufacturing. This is another Innovate UK or DCMS project. This one looks, well, this one sees us putting 5G capabilities onto older systems in order for us to get the data from those systems, analyze the data, and create a more intelligent system and a better user interface for that system. So we can see the various partners along the bottom, and Lancaster or J4IC's role in this one was to, or is to, analyze the data from the 5G sensors and provide intelligence insights via machine learning and artificial intelligence, looking at that data. The next one is Weld Zero. This one is about creating an intelligent welding system with a zero defect strategy. So this one, I've just mapped the system architecture in here. We're halfway through this project. So the way we are approaching this is we have a number of systems on the shop floor. We connect a real-time data backbone to them systems, which allows us to capture the data generated from those systems, which can be transported to the cloud. We can create or we can utilize simulation tools, digital twinning, etc. And we can traverse data through the ERP systems and the supply chain. And Lancaster's role on this, again, is data analytics. So once we have the data from the systems, we provide analytics in order to, in some cases, provide a closed loop control to facilitate a zero defect manufacturing approach. Again, the partners are highlighted on the bottom. And another one of the projects which we're currently working on, which started this year, so very early in this project, is ResurgJam. And this is the robotic survey, repair and agile manufacture. The aim of this project is to repair ships' hulls via friction stir welding process. And J4IC are responsible for creating the Industry 4.0 backbone, which connects all of the consortium and users together remotely, and also facilitates control of this repair process and embeds AI and machine learning and digital twinning into that platform. So it's a very challenging project, let's say, advantageous project, and it's a Horizon 2021, so it spans over 3 years. Okay, so looking at the main projects tied into this presentation, which is the digital supply chain adoption curve. This again is an Innovate UK project, and it was won under the Made Smarter, Manufacturing Made Smarter banner. It's a short feasibility project which has a duration of 6 months. We started in April, and the aim of it is to provide a product roadmap which helps develop or deliver the vision of a fully integrated digital supply chain. So we're approaching this by three main aspects. We want to learn, so understand what stakeholders, SMEs to large enterprises see as existing solutions and realize where their gaps are. Then we want to design, be mindful of those gaps and then branch them to the future technologies, and then test that at TWI within integrated supply chains to see and simulate those solutions. So the project aims to mainly overcome two things. A lot of companies have fears with regards to implementing digital technologies and sharing of data, so we want to understand that, and we want to promote the necessity, I can't say that word, but you can all read it there, of the relevant digital tools. And ultimately will result in reports being delivered which will de-risk digital approaches, and we want to develop a holistic review of the digital product roadmap, which people can look to, and ultimately follow. Just a snapshot look at the project then. As I said, it's a 6-month project split into 3 main stages and a number of different work packages. The first 3 or 4 run simultaneously, and that is the market research, just understanding the stakeholders and creating ecosystem designs. That feeds into the product design and developing mock-ups, along with the certification understanding, which leads into the testing and evaluation at TWI. And again, we've got the 4 partners at the bottom there. With the digital supply chain adoption curve, I did want to utilize this forum to extend an invitation to all those on the call. If you're interested in finding out more about this project and potentially helping us by filling out a questionnaire to understand your supply chain challenges and needs, then that would be very well received. So yeah, please get in touch with me on that. All it would require is completing of an online questionnaire. We'd probably follow up with a short Zoom call just to further clarify anything or ask any further questions, and then that information can be integrated into the project understanding, all in all, to make us get a richer wealth of knowledge in the project. So please get in touch to participate, and my contact details are on the screen now. So thank you very much. Back to you, Utkarsha.
Thank you, Darren. It is really interesting to see the range of projects you have, and the depth as well regarding implementation of digital manufacturing aspect. Yeah, I would like to open the floor for any questions for Darren, please.
If there isn't any questions which spring to mind,
we can stop again after next speaker's start. So I would like to thank Darren again, and we can wait for another few minutes after we finish with the Krit. So I would like to introduce Krit now, Mr. Krit Patel. He is the Managing Director of PrintVision UK, and PrintVision is a specialist company in fabric printing, the POS display systems, and bespoke printing requirements. Since last 22 years, they are serving the Midlands market and the global market from Leicester. They're leading trade print supplier and provide an unrivaled service. They facilitate customers of all sizes from end-to-end printing management service with incredible results and very competitive pricing. Krit and Leicester Innovation Hub have worked very closely in last 6 months to maybe more, last 1 year. Leicester Innovation Hub is working very closely with Krit, and he has also given us very good insight into industry problems he was facing, and in this collaboration we have worked very closely to help Krit in all sense, and today Krit is here to share his success story of implementing digital marketing or digital manufacturing along with the AI based implementation for his business. and PrintVision has generated high impact in terms of revenue and increased customer satisfaction and business growth during the most challenging period of pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic. That's why I would like to welcome you, Krit, on today's forum, and we would like to hear your thoughts and listen to your success story in last 12 months and going forward. I'm sure you're going to achieve great milestones. So welcome again, and I would like to give you the floor.
Hello, everybody. My name is Krit, Patel. I'm the Managing Director of PrintVision. I just want to really speak about the challenges that we faced during our growth in our business, especially from the pandemic. When the pandemic hit us, first thing we all thought about is what are we going to do? Straight away, we had to put systems in place for our customers who have already dropped off and shut their businesses down, and the customers are existing. Plus, it was existing customers. How are we gonna pick up business from existing customers? So where we started was we looked at our CRM systems, which is at the top of the list for our customers. Then we looked at MIS systems. We looked at our accounting package, and we thought, okay, so we've got our CRM system. Does it interact with our MIS system? Does it interact with our accounting package? Initially, no, it didn't. So we actually implemented a new CRM system within the pandemic. We put a new CRM system in. We're still working on the MIS system. We changed our accounting package so that would integrate with our CRM and our MIS. We then thought, okay, we've got a lot of customers here. We had a lot of help from the Innovation Hub, and Dr. Ayub, I'm sure he's on here as well. And it opened my eyes to the type of customers we had, and which customers were making us money, which customers wasn't making us money, which customers we had to target, which customers that were causing us, making us have high costs and not actually making us money. So how it helped us to put these systems together was it brought together information, data to work on, to actually go back to the table and say, okay, this is the customers who are regularly using this. These are the customers who are literally users on a once a year, twice a year, or basically just asking us for lots of quotes, and we're not converting. So we concentrated on the customers that were making us money and not concentrating a lot on the customers that wasn't making us money, because they were been there for a few years and we've not converted with them, but we were neglecting the customers that were making us money. So once we put this implication in, is right at the beginning of the pandemic, we then thought, okay, now we need to innovate and we need to change from the traditional business. And we're a traditional business in terms of we print fabric a lot, POS, point of sale, flags that you see in petrol stations, BP petrol station, Texaco, Costa Coffee, places like that. All this business dropped off. We then thought, okay, what we're going to do? We got together with our suppliers and we started manufacturing sanitizing stations. We imported in face visors. We manufactured face masks, custom face masks for two of the largest online printers, only because we didn't have an online platform ourselves. We had a website. We had to hide behind our trade because we're a trade printer. So we did have the audience. As soon as the pandemic hit, we didn't have the audience to go and hit to say, come on, buy our face masks, buy our face visors, sanitize station, floor stickers, a floor tape, everything that we were doing. We had to still use the customers that we already had, which were our trade customers who were resellers. So we started manufacturing and we did very well. We had, I mean, probably the best 3 months of our lives in that first 4 months, 5 months of the pandemic. Then we had a lot of work coming in, and then we thought, okay, where other problems we're getting, The pandemic helped us in such a way where we could think about our business. Before the pandemic, we were running 100 miles per hour. We couldn't think about putting systems in place. We had staff coming in on a day-to-day, we were employing staff on a day-to-day basis just to manage the infrastructure. Then we said, okay, how are we going to solve other problems moving forward? One big problem we had was our backlog in our design department. We used to have 50, 60 jobs a day. To proof those jobs, to make sure the jobs have got the right sizes, the right bleed, the right images, everything else. Each designer spent 15 minutes on it, not just 15 minutes. We used to send it back to the customer for approval. It'll come back to us. And sometimes, most of the time, the artwork was always wrong. So we'd tell them what changes to make, they'll go back to their customer, come back to us. And we ended up spending, we noticed that half an hour on each job that we were proofing. So we went for a system called Switch. What Switch did for us, it changed the game. We coded scripts within this program called Switch. As soon as we throw a file in there, it'll automatically proof the job for us. So we'll check all the sizes, check the bleed, it'll check the resolution, it'll check whether it's got tick marks on it and everything else. So we'll do everything for it. Not just that, it'll actually set the job up to go downstairs to print. We actually put dots on our jobs so the CNC cutter can know where the guidelines are. So it does all that for us. So that really helped us out. So starting from our CRM, interacting with our MIS system, to proofing, we started streamlining. We started getting jobs out a lot quicker. In one way, that helped us scale up our business. We started getting more jobs in. We then thought about how now is our website. We need a website. We're in the pandemic. We need more customers. A lot of our trade customers just shut down and just prevented. They thought, oh, we'll shut down, we'll claim furlough, and we'll come back in when the market comes back. The market was actually there. A lot of our customers could have gone on the back of us and what we manufactured and what we produced. They could have sold to their customers, but they didn't. So we decided we need to now look at the website. We need to start opening up the website to the public, start doing a lot of end user work. So we then looked at the website, started looking at e-commerce on the website, started integrating. Now we're looking at integrating the website with our MI system and our CRM system. And this will tell us when customers go onto the website, who's gone onto the website, what page they're looking at. And in terms of marketing, that will help us contact those customers and convert those customers into a job. Now, we're in the process right now of the website at the moment. But all these systems that we're putting in place at the moment is benefited us so much. We have staff. We have 32 staff right at the beginning of the pandemic. We actually reduced staff. We had to see where we were going. So we reduced down to 22 staff. I lost 10 staff. But coming back out of the pandemic right now, going back into our traditional goods. I mean, we've done a lot of outdoor work. We've done a lot of gazebos. We've done a lot of parasols. We've done cafe barriers for Peroni, Moretti, a lot of companies. Made us realise that what type of jobs to actually go for. So we've gone for larger customers, then go for smaller customers that we felt that £50, £100, £200 orders didn't make us that much, and we were actually costing us more because of the size of our business going through the department. So the data that we looked at told us this and made us change the way that we run our business, made us look at, we don't really want the online business that people just go and buy online and they don't really know us. We want that valued customer. Print is one of those games that, yes, people do buy online, but we feel that having that customer interaction, customer wants to talk about the job, the scale we're at, we need to bring in jobs at a higher value, which means a lot of customers are not going to buy high value goods just online. They want to speak to you. So we focused our goal to even look at customer service. So basically contacting the customer, making sure after a quote it was chased. So all those systems we started putting in place, down to couriers. The courier through pandemic, we had so much problems. Everyone's used TNT, everyone's used FedEx. We use 4 parcel companies now. All these parcel companies change their rules on a day-to-day basis. Weights went to volumetric. So we had to start calculating on volumetric. So a lot of couriers turned around and said 1.2 meters are the maximum, anything above 1.2 will give you a larger surcharge. We had to fight these challenges with our customers. We had to increase cost, of course, but we had to fight these challenges. Fighting challenges with suppliers. £3,500 a container went to £13,000 a container. Looking at the pricing structure, how we're going to sustain our business, how we're going to keep these customers. We had to take a lot of hit. We're still bringing containers in. We're still bringing them in at £14,000. What do? We can't stop our business. So we said to ourselves, we're still going to bring goods in. We're still going to service the customers. We have to take a hit on the profit, but to move forward and come out of this, we need to support our customers. Either if we shut down, then they will always go somewhere else. But yes, that's where we are when we're right at the beginning. When we started thinking about what challenges we had with the growth of the business is.
I think we lost Krit. It looks like an internet issue.
Okay, I think we can give Krit more time during the networking session, Utkarsha, and we can move on with the sessions.